All right, what's up, everybody?
Let's fucking go! Woo! Dubs.
Bro, I am so.
Fuck ULM. Fuck the Warhawks. Fuck the Chippewas. Let's ride. That's a dub.
Turn him
One closer, Matt, to bowl eligibility.
or turn my headphones down.
Let's go, dude.
It's got to be one or the other.
I am hyped.
Turn
up.
my mic up. Dude, I gotta, whenever we start the show now, I've got to be mindful of the fact that as soon as we go live,
Yeah.
you just start screaming F-bombs.
Yeah.
And then you just murder my eardrums.
Yeah. Fuck your eardrums.
Not unlike just listening to you murders my eardrums anyway.
Your eardrums are ULM, and they just got fucked up. Kind of. Not really. We'll get into it. But the bottom line, you won 27-14. A dub is a dub is a dub.
Kind of.
Tiger Stadium, home win.
where opponents' dreams come to
Yes.
and where crowds show up sometimes, but not really.
Yes.
Holy shit. What a fucking embarrassment. Oh, God.
Yes.
Anyway.
Gerard already hitting on the eternal 2021 maxim. At least we're not Florida. That is the only thing that you can say this year.
All right, what's up, everybody?
Let's
See. Do us a solid. If you are on Facebook, please, you know the drill. Like the page, share the post. Like the page, share the post. If you are watching on YouTube, smash that like button.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being here as always. Admittedly, for a late kick and a late start, like Michael Merritt, first out the chute. We'll tweet a picture.
Oh, let's go.
Michael Merritt.
M.
The Michael Merritt, you get a retweet. All right, y'all. Customary toast here to start the show. Tigers win 27-14. The wins have been hard to come by this year, so we'll all fucking take it. You know the drill. Raise your glass. Take a picture of the screen with us here. Toasting with us. Tweet us. Tweet at me. Tweet at T-Bob. Love to give you a retweet. Go Tigers, everybody. Tigers win. Go.
That victory margarita tastes so damn good.
All right. LSU wins at 27-14. If you want to give some opening thoughts there. And I don't know, like last week we talked about what we might do to make this entertaining for people. Like, would we dress up like Anakin Skywalker or some shit? We didn't go to any of that.
Well, we can't because of sponsors. As you can see, thanks to my guys at Vacherie Fuel, I got my propane shirt on because fuck the Chippewas, fuck ULM, and fuck other propane companies besides Vacherie Fuel.
Got
okay,
it.
20% more in every single tank. How about that? Look. The bottom line, if you are watching this right now, Matt, you are a true college football sicko. It is 11:17 p.m. on a Saturday night, and you just sat through 3.5 hours of LSU-ULM, a 27-14 dogfight.
Yes.
Okay, so if you are watching this, you're one of us. You're a sicko. So welcome to the club, okay? We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk coaching search. We're going to talk about today's college football action as there was a lot to go around. Yeah, man, as far as my thoughts on the game to start out, it took a bad turn. I actually loved how they started. You know, I thought they came down, had a really good attitude. I thought that you would see a team that was completely checked out. I don't think you got that. I think you just saw a team that's just not that good, maybe especially offensively. But, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to defend here. There's not a lot. I mean, but at the same time, what is there to be angry about? I mean, the regime change is happening.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, the dub's a dub. Brian Thomas had a tight touchdown. That was nice. Max put a nice move on him. Malik Neighbors had a nice touchdown.
Yep.
Okay, young receiver showing up.
Malik Neighbors had a nice day.
Cardell Thomas started, so you got to see a 5-star that you haven't really seen before in action.
So can people stop asking me what's up with Cardell Thomas? Or are we still going to get asked now what's up with Cardell Thomas? All the fucking time.
So you get asked that all the time? I've actually been asked
all
that
the
a time.
fucking time. Are you kidding me? Hey, what's up with Cardell Thomas? Why don't we see Cardell Thomas? All the time. I mean, honestly, I'm sure the kid works really hard. It sounds like it, but just not great. Coming along. But maybe he could be a starter next year.
He can
and
still
next
develop.
year.
He can still
Sure.
develop. You know,
Sure, hell yeah.
That is the.
But when you're this deep into your career and you're not starting regularly, that's just there's
It
a
is
reason why.
well, but it's also a little bit of the double-edged sword of being a 5-star, right?
It was
you're
actually a
expected to
4-star
play-
by the time it all.
Okay, but
Anyway, let's not make this about Cardell Thomas.
functionally
It's
a 5-star.
not really. No.
No, I mean like in public perception. Whatever. Fuck you, dude. The point is, development happens at different rates, okay? And so let's allow Cardell a little time here. We'll see.
A little time. It's been
No. It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years.
This is his third year.
3 years?
This is his third year. He was a freshman in 19.
Okay, Richard's
It's his third year, you cockbag.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal, okay? But he's played. But he played tonight. He started tonight. That's not the point. I don't know what the point is. The point is that LSU won, I guess. It didn't look great. But what is there to be mad about? Again, because change is coming. Like, the things that didn't look great tonight you would expect to be different. And by that I mean mainly the offense. It is kind of crazy. There was a time where I think Max was like 22 of like 30 for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. It did not feel like that at all. That lighter's not working that well, by the way. Shout out. Oh, here we go. Bob Champagne with the super chat. Sickos would be watching this shit show in New Jersey on East Coast time like us.
Hell
That's
yeah,
right. Shout
bro.
out to all the East Coast people watching this shit. USMC Mike. Hell yeah. Shout out Marine Corps. Shout out Mike. He says even worse here on the East Coast. Go Tigers. That's right. Yeah, y'all are at 12:20 p.m., dude. The truest of sickos. We had our own little Pac-12 after dark, but it was more like Group of 5 after dark, and it was not nearly as fun. I had a good time. I don't know. I think it's just because I love Don Juan. John Sager, Bill O'Brien's offense looked pretty good this evening. Dude, if I have to hear one more word about Bill O'Brien, dude. And I got a butt chin, so I don't want to say it's all about the butt chin, but it's also not about the butt chin. But no, I don't want to hear about Bill O'Brien. You know who I am coming around to?
Check our audio.
I'm coming around to a little Bill Napier, maybe. Because
All right, so
I'm
I
a
know,
sucker.
hang on real quick. I know a lot of people are. So, all right, I know for whatever reason our video is buffering again this week, and I apologize. We're on Ethernet. We're hardwired. This is the setup we've always had. I don't know why the video is buffering. I apologize for that.
Is the audio okay?
If the audio is good, we'll roll like we did last week. So just bear with us on. If our audio is good, we're going to roll. Apologize for the bad video feed. But thanks for hanging out with us either way, if y'all would. And we do publish a podcast version in the morning. So if you don't watch tonight and you want to listen to what we have to say, the audio version will be up tomorrow. So
Jake, can I get that lighter, bro?
all right, we're here at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. We appreciate Don Juan for having us, our home, all throughout the year here on Whiskey and Wine. Thank y'all for hanging out with us.
Here.
Drop your comments, y'all, because quite honestly, we can delve into this game, but I think the bigger picture conversations around the program and certain players and all are probably the way that this is going to go tonight. So we'll take your lead on it, but we can go through the game. I mean, my big takeaway of it is, look, when we look back in hindsight, ULM had 2 possessions inside the 5-yard line where they came away with no points. They went forward on 4th down plays. You credit LSU. They made the plays to force a 4th down. Neil Farrell had a big stop on one. Glenn Logan had a big stop on the other.
Neil blew that center up.
Yeah, man. So, LSU made plays to force the 4th down, but ULM shat on itself on the 4th down. I mean, that's all there is to it. They had 2 open receivers, and they just didn't execute. I guess that's why they're 4-6 ULM in the Sun Belt.
You know who else shat on themselves on 4th down? 2019 Texas. Remember that? Beginning of the game. Wide open touchdown. Old boy dropped it.
You're right.
It happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. Okay, fuck it. We'll take it.
So, anyway, some people are saying, well, ULM should be leading the game. Or, I believe in the butterfly effect. If something happens, it alters the entire course and trajectory because play calling and sequence and situations all change.
Yes.
So it's not one-for-one to say, well, had they scored there, it would have been, the final. You had 2 touchdowns. LSU, Cade York uncharacteristically missed a field goal. Tigers had a possession inside the 10 where – this is Jake Peets again. Fuck. You got 1st and goal from the 9. You'd been running the ball right down the field. They throw 3 consecutive passes. They throw 3 consecutive passes all incomplete, and you kick a 27-yard field goal. So, I mean, it's what it is for this season. I did like Malik Neighbors tonight. It was good to see him have a really nice. We kind of been saying, which receiver would finally step up with, what receiver would step up with Kayshon Boutte out, and it's been a variety of different guys. Jack Besh had 5 catches tonight for 46, but Malik Neighbors had 4 for 143, including the 67-yard touchdown, which was really a pretty awesome catch and run, man. Malik kind of abused the middle of the field, which was really good to see. Even early in the game, he had a 20. It
was that screen pass on 3rd and 3. It was a beautiful screen pass,
and it went for 21 yards. And he caught a first down pass for 21 yards. And the 3rd and 2 went for 48 yards. I mean, he abused the middle of the field, which was really good to see. I mean, Neighbors, we heard a lot about in camp, and tonight was kind of the night where he had his opportunity, stepped up and made the most of it, which was cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, the young receivers remain talented. I think it's a bit weird where it's tough not to judge them against the bright light of Kayshon Boutte, right? And so judged against that backdrop, anybody's going to be kind of found wanting a bit. But don't let that misconstrue the fact that LSU has very talented young receivers. And Malik Neighbors had a great play. Brian Thomas's touchdown was really nice. Max, great job
Brian
avoiding
Thomas's
the rush.
touchdown was – the Brian Thomas touchdown was amazing.
Yeah.
That was the best play of the night.
I agree. Max had a great avoidance, a little juke move in the backfield to avoid the rush. He gets it to Thomas. Thomas puts a move on. He breaks it. So,
by the way, Pearl Jam, Elderly Woman right now is playing. I dig that so much. You don't like Pearl Jam?
No, I like Pearl Jam. But it just you were in the Pearl Jam pocket, right? Like you were in the sweet spot. You probably fucking love Dave Matthews Band too.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh no. Here's I got to tell you. Hold on. Listen.
Okay.
No, but you don't understand. Like for my age group, if you were at Catholic High, Dave Matthews was like
you were 2000.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Class
so my
2000.
oldest sister is 2000, and I'll never forget as a kid looking at that yearbook, and everybody's senior shit was about Dave Matthews.
But listen. But the funniest thing is that you say that. Then we're deviating here, but that's probably what this is going to be tonight. I think that's why y'all fucking care.
Yeah.
But dude, in college, so my freshman year, I was at Holy Cross in South Bend, and they would always, and they had this at LSU too, where they would have the poster sale. You know what I mean? Like they were this big traveling. These would bring posters. Anyway,
it was like Scholastic Book Fair, but for
posters.
posters.
Exactly. My freshman year in our dorm room, we bought this fucking Dave Matthews poster the size of that wall.
Wow.
And that was above our couch.
You were like, bros, check this shit out, dude. We got a 12-foot DMB poster, bros.
They don't know better, bro.
We're going to get so many chicks. They're going to come in here and be like, whoa, you like Dave Matthews too? I fucking love Dave Matthews.
Oh man, it was like
Ants?
It was this poster where
Satellite?
It was like this dark picture. And Dave's got like a turtleneck on and some shit.
Look, I like Dave. I like Dave. I want to be clear. I like Dave too.
This is great. No,
and actually, in college, we got real into Dave's wine, Dreaming Tree, which it's kind of like a college wine, but it was
good.
It was good. It was good for what it was.
I don't know if ditching the scroll helped at all, Jake. It's still up for a little bit, but so I mean. I don't think it matters. Someone suggested getting rid of the scroll, which might help with the latency, but it's not helping. So either way. All right, so we're just going to roll. All right, let's say some what's up. Calvin Dudley.
I got super chats on deck whenever you need.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Jason Champagne says that offense lacks imagination. It is hard to watch.
Oh, shit.
It's just Pete's and repeats, which I thought that was pretty funny. That was a good job by Jason.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess that's where, I'm struggling to find any anger, though, Matt, is that it's par for the course for what we've seen, right? Like, all this week was a continuation of the offensive struggles that we've seen time in and time out again, just throughout this season. And I'm finding it increasingly hard to blame the players. And the reason being, I talked about this last week, right? Like, the offensive line, kind of against all odds, has gotten better and better and better. And I got to rewatch this film. I don't think they did great tonight. So I'll rewatch this and let you know. But the offensive line was really good last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. But the offense has gotten worse and worse and worse. Why? The system just seems broken, right? And nobody's playing with confidence. And you can see it. Everything feels very tentative. It feels like everybody's kind of stepping on eggshells offensively. And you get these big plays. Because why? because you just have superior athletes. Why you can't put together any consistency is because the foundation of the offense and the play con, the philosophy behind it is it's just bad. So, unfortunately, yes, the offense is hard to watch, Jason, but it's what you get. It's what you get this year. It's what you got for the hire.
By the way, so I think our audio on YouTube is good. I think audio and video on Facebook is buffering. So, Facebook folks, if you're there, I just pinned the YouTube link.
Nice
so
job.
if you want to go watch on YouTube, I think our audio there is better. So jump on into YouTube with us, 7:30 watching on YouTube. Thanks for hanging out.
Hit the like button, everybody.
Please smash that like button. We appreciate it. Okay. All right. I mean, do you want to do what was you had more do super chats?
Yeah.
Do super chats.
Matt Castle, and by the way, super chats, if you donate, you can get your chat up there like $5, whatever, right? Matt Castleberry says, can we talk about our punter throwing a fade route and no saying, my bad, what a circus?
Okay. I walked in here tonight. So I watched first half at home, drive here to Don Juan at halftime. You're usually here already drunk.
Yes.
So I walk in, you're drunk, chest hair exposed, all that stupid shit.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Faking a fucking punt up 17-0 on ULM.
It was a good throw.
It's a fucking Bush League call. What are you doing? Like, if you have a fake punt in your back pocket, why are you pulling out up 17 on ULM?
I mean, fuck it, dude. We got to get the first down. We got to go to 24-0.
Fuck it.
Before the first
it's
down.
The same reason why they pissed away. You know what there's one thing I'm like, the more I think about it, the more pissed I get. There's one thing. And again, it's a lost season. Who gives a shit? The whole program, everyone will be better for everything that happens when Ogeron's gone in a week, and they'll bring in a real coach and start winning again. But, dude, last week, LSU should have beaten Arkansas. They were better than Arkansas, and in this Bush League bullshit, whatever decision they made to bench Max Johnson and play Garrett Nussmeier, who hadn't played all year, in a game that you needed for bowl eligibility against a division rival that you just pissed away. Why? Because Nussmeier wanted to play, or his dad wanted him to play, or you wanted to give him a shot, or what
they wanted to see what was going to happen.
Okay, and then go away from it when it's not working. Go back to the guy that's played all fucking year. You took a shot and you pissed away a chance to win a conference game, and you would have been bowl eligible. Like, as it is, LSU's going to lose next week and finish sub 500 for the first time since Jerry DiNardo's last year in 1999.
Let's be clear about one thing, bitch. LSU is not losing next week.
They're losing next week.
Not losing next week. This was the win to start the winning streak. Next week, you're going to get the dub. You're being bowl eligible, and we're going to the Gasparilla. Let's fucking ride, dude. I never knew this. The Gasparilla Bowl, Gasparilla Club, is just a giant group of pirates, literal pirates in Tampa Bay, who put on great events throughout the year, and one of them is the Gasparilla Bowl.
Fucking love it.
So we're going to be doing whiskey and wine in Tampa from the fucking pirate ship.
No, we're not.
And we're yahar, matey. Welcome in here to their whiskey and wine.
I'm not going to the fucking Gasparilla
I
Bowl.
hope you have a grand old time, laddie.
I'm spending time with my family. I'm not going to fucking Gasparilla Bowl.
What?
I'm not going to the fucking Gasparilla Bowl.
Oh,
fuck
my
a Gasparilla
God,
Bowl.
dude. Well, whatever. We're beating A&M either way, dude.
Kenneth Kimball said, let's talk about the new coach. And then Ryan Caldwell said, is Mullen gone? Yeah, Dan Mullen's fucking getting fired.
Gotta be.
What I was told from some people at Florida this week was, I think we talked about it on Moscona and T. If he won the next two, he was safe. If he lost the next two, he was out. If he split them, it was iffy. I don't know how.
Feels very hard to feel iffy tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they're like the Florida State next week is a battle for bowl eligibility. Think about that. That once great rivalry is now a battle for bowl eligibility.
It's a great perspective. It's a great perspective piece. Actually, that's funny because you brought up Brody Miller tweeted this earlier. He said, probably unoriginal random thought, because Brody always doubts himself, even though he's very talented. In the same season, some of the biggest historical football powers are currently LSU, 4-6, USC, 4-6, Florida, 5-6, Texas, 4-7, Florida State, 5-6. So, yeah, man, look, it's just like this is like world history here. You never stay on top, okay? It's a lesson that you got to bring it every year. When you get complacent, you get fucking snatched up. I mean, and honestly, that is the biggest sin of the Ogeron era, is complacency. For everything everybody else wants to make it about. It's about being swallowed up by success and getting complacent and not doing the things that got you there in the first place. And yeah, these schools, that's exactly what has happened. But
the Ogeron era is about having a not good coach who doesn't know how to hire good assistants or delegate or manage games or manage a roster or manage a locker room or anything else, which is why they are where they are.
Sure, dude.
That's
sure,
what
dude.
it is.
Sure, dude. I'm not. We're not going to rehash
that's
this debate
what this
again.
fucking. This isn't even a debate.
That's
what this is.
No.
It's why they are where they are. It's not complacency that led to this shit. It's that he doesn't fucking know how to manage a roster.
Oh my god. That's so fucking no. No, he did know how to manage a roster until he got complacent.
So he forgot. He forgot how to manage a roster. Got it.
Yes, they got complacent.
Knew and then forgot.
Yeah. Look at the fucking
complacent.
transfers and everybody they brought in early on. They were all fucking hitting and killing it. What do you mean? That's a literal roster management. We cannot rehash this argument. There's no point. We are diametrically opposed. We will never see eye to eye on this. We'll never see eye to eye. Either way, it's interesting that a lot of football powers are fucking down in the dumps this year. I mean, fucking Texas lost again today. By the way, go Mountaineers, bitch!
How about
WVU, we're burning couches tonight. I'm lighting this shit on
Good win.
fire as soon as the show ends.
You're not doing that.
No. I'm not actually going to do that.
That's arson.
In fact, I've always wondered about the economy of, like, how many couches does the average West Virginia student have? What do the flea markets look like? Do they get upmarked because there's higher demand? Is it lower demand? I don't know. The point is,
look at my guy Steve Golson. Someone just bought the last binder on Amazon.
At least you're not Florida. At least you're not Florida, and at least you're not Texas.
Shout out to Don Juan Cigar Bar for hosting us. Also, the Aesthetic Medicine and Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bonnet Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey and Lafayette. Online, theantiagingclinics.com. Medical grade supplements. Great creams and different products as well. Facial beauty products. My wife Erica uses those all the time. Hormone replacement therapy. Lots of different services to help you, look and feel like your younger self. Great place. Go check them out. We appreciate their constant support.
Shout out to Vacherie Fuel, VacherieFuel.com. 20% more propane in every tank than their competitors. Get that extra boiling. Get that extra time worth for your patio heaters. Restaurant owners, get with Vacherie Fuel. Make sure your customers don't freeze. And check this out. Fuck Blue Rhino. Fuck Amerigas. They shortchange your tanks. Not at Vacherie Fuel.
Dude, come on, bro.
20% more fuel than any of them.
I don't think you can say that.
Yes, I can. 20% more fuel.
That's
in
fucking
Vacherie
false
Fuel.
advertising. You're going to get in trouble
That's
for that
not
shit.
false advertising. Vacherie Fuel does 20% more fuel than fucking Rhino, whatever. And check it out. Local, okay? So you can go to Rouse's,
I have a question.
High Neighbors, Mathern's. Shout out to Louisiana Propane
I have a question.
Association.
Is that front Vacherie or back Vacherie?
What?
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. Let's see. Doug Thomas. I'm
Fuck all y'all say my argument is lame. You're fucking idiots. You listen to this guy too much. You think you can just you think you can assign all responsibility for bad decisions but none of them for the good? It's fucking ridiculous. Y'all are dumb. It's an true Hollywood story. We've seen thousands of people swallowed up by success. It fucking happens, okay? And it is what it is. We're moving on. We're getting a new coach. We'll see who it is.
He bathed in the success that he didn't even know how it was created. That's the problem. That is the problem. T-Bob. Like, if he knew how to fix it, how do you fucking explain, well, I just wanted Joe Brady's offense, so I asked Joe Brady who to hire. Oh, I didn't know what to do with Dave Aranda, so I went and asked Pete Carroll who I should hire.
Oh, my God.
Like, how do you explain when he's trying to save his job, he has no idea how to hire an assistant?
Let's be honest.
No, seriously. Like, explain that. Is that complacency? So the bullshit hires he's made, like needing to save his job, hiring two coordinators who had never done that job before, that's complacency or that's not having a fucking clue how to evaluate coaching talent?
Bro, there were limits put on the contract
Get
they were allowed
the
to
fuck
offer. They
out.
missed
They
out
paid
on
both
people.
They paid both
Whatever,
coordinators 7 figures. Fuck that. You do not get away with that. Limits is bullshit. They paid both of these dudes 7 figures. Do not tell me there's limits put on what they could hire in the contract. That is grade A bullshit.
No.
He had Derek Panamsky call Joe Brady and say, who can run your offense? He said Jake Peets, and he fucking hired him.
Yes, they've been chasing the ghost of Joe Brady to their detriment. But they did it before. I mean, what do you like? I mean, yes, like, okay, so they get Joe Brady, okay, they make the hire there, it works out amazingly, and they chase that fucking ghost. That's called being swallowed up by success. That's how that shit happens. Is that you make a decision that works out, and then maybe objectively you don't fully recognize why it worked out, and so you keep chasing this decision and you miss. I mean, yes, that's how it fucking happens.
It worked out because you had a transcendent quarterback on campus
that he roster managed in there.
But
he lucked into.
He fucked up the 2018 signing class by not getting a quarterback.
Bro.
Had to go into the portal, and luckily Joe Burrow was there, and because you had Bill Bush on staff,
so goddamn stupid.
Because you had Bill Bush on staff, who was a friend of Jimmy Burrow, you got into the mix for Joe Burrow, who otherwise was going to go play for Luke Fickell at Cincinnati.
Don't
let facts get in the way of your bullshit.
Facts, Matt, you twist all the facts. The
Those
mental
facts.
gymnastics you go to discredit success but attribute credit to fucking failure is unbelievable. It's unfucking real, dude. What are you talking about? When somebody is successful over a course of years, they're getting better because they're making the right choices. And then you made a consistent series of bad choices. You are discoloring the facts to fit your overall narrative. I'm saying give credit when credit is due and criticism when criticism is due. They have fucked up the last 2 years. And that's why they're out. That's all I'm saying. But it doesn't mean they didn't do great things before that. Yeah, that's a fucking simple argument. That's what I'm fucking saying. Rob Boudreaux, thank you for the super chat.
And context matters. And the grand picture of Ed Ogeron's entire career as a head football coach is dog shit, except for one season, and he has no idea how it happened or how to recreate it.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on.
Exactly. Like we said, diametrically opposed. And anybody who agrees with that, you're a fucking idiot too.
Mm-hmm. That's a super brilliant argument. If you disagree, you're a fucking idiot. Cool. All right,
Yeah.
David Foote.
I don't know how to help you. You're the Pied Piper of the idiots. I don't know what to tell them. I mean, they need to stop following you.
And it's amazing that the overwhelming majority of humanity involved in this conversation agrees with me, and you're on this island over here by yourself yelling that everybody else is a fucking idiot.
No, not majority, dude. Also, no, dude. Your argument plays to the times.
Okay,
because
who's
there's
next?
anger in the air.
Who's next?
I'm kind of coming around to Napier.
You're coming around to Bill, huh?
Coming around Napier.
Coming around to Bill.
Pushing Napier. Not O'Brien. Not O'Brien. Not O'Brien. Not O'Brien. I'm coming around to Napier, dude.
David Foote, hurts me bad to agree with Moscons.
Yeah, well, hey, it should hurt you because it's wrong. It's like when you burn yourself on the stove. It's fucking wrong. You don't do it again.
You know what it is? It's people that hated it when I said it when he was hired and now realize it was right.
I was right.
It was.
15-0 natty. I was right.
And he has no idea how it happened.
I was right.
He's Coker. He's Chiswick.
No,
he's
right.
He's that guy.
Yeah, you're right.
He's that guy.
Absolutely. He had no idea how it happened. He didn't put the team. We can't get into this again. We are so diametrically opposed, and I get so triggered by your arguments that I just can't. I can't go here with you. I cannot. Okay, Kerry Hughes, super chat. Let's talk coaching search.
Okay.
Okay, so Mel Tucker fucking sucks. How could you ever want Mel Tucker? I mean, they lost to Ohio State. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? That's another thing that I saw today that also does kind of trigger me. Look, again, y'all.
You and I do agree on this.
It's no surprise that Michigan State is not where Ohio State is. That's literally the least surprising thing in the world. Ohio State has been an Alabama of the North for, what, a decade now? When did Urban get there? 12, 13?
Urban's first
didn't Urban take over 11-1? Wasn't Fossil 11-1 or some shit? The point is, it doesn't matter.
Fickle?
No. Fossil.
Tressel.
Tressel, sorry. Tressel.
When Tressel was out, they had Luke Fickell was an interim for a year, and
I didn't realize that.
they were 6-6.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then Urban came in, had an undefeated season, but they were ineligible for postseason.
Yeah.
And then his next year, so that was maybe 13, and then I think that was 12 and 13, then 14 they won the Natty.
So the point is, Ohio State is so far beyond in terms of program development. Of course they whip Michigan State's ass. I don't find it as a big commentary on Mel Tucker's ability, right? That's all I'm saying.
I agree. It's the more amazing thing is, and by the way, I went hard on Ohio State today. That for me was the lock of the season. Michigan State had the worst has the worst pass defense in the country.
Oh, what?
Statistically,
Oh, I
they're
didn't realize that.
statistically dead last in the country.
How the fuck did they won so many games?
But that's the point.
They play in the Big Ten.
So they play in the Big Ten. So the schedule's weak. They were really outplayed by Michigan the majority of that game.
Yeah.
And Harbaugh fucked up late and
Kenneth, they popped off and made plays like Kenneth Walker and shit, right?
But a big part of that, I mean, Michigan was up 16 late in the third in that game, and Harbaugh puts the freshman in to run a play, fumbles, and Michigan State gets a short. It was a lot of that shit. But anyway, the more remarkable thing is that Tucker had Michigan State in the top 10 the second to last game of the season. I mean, he'll be fine. He's a good coach and all that sort of stuff. They were just outclassed. Ohio State has the best wide receiving core in the country. The three receivers they have are all NFL first-rounders. I mean, think about this. Jamison Williams at Alabama, who's a stud freak show, he left Ohio State because he couldn't play in that receiver core.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, he's the best receiver Bama's got right now. So that was a terrible matchup for them. The other one, though, that I went hard on today was Utah over Oregon, because Oregon's another team that is not very good. Like, Oregon is not an elite team. They have the best win in college football this year.
How did they they dominated Ohio State on the lines of scrimmage?
It's the best win in college football. They have no one has watched Oregon play any other games except that one. If you think that's a solid team, they're not. They're not a very good football team. They're not an elite football team.
They didn't look great against Fresno.
They didn't look great against Fresno. They got the shit kicked out of them at the line of scrimmage by Stanford in that game. They got obviously blown out today by Utah. I mean, they're not a great team. People were buying the hype on them, and that was easy to see what was going to happen because Salt Lake, for whatever reason, Salt Lake City is a tough place to play. I have no idea why Rice-Eccles Stadium at Utah is such a home field advantage, but it fucking is. And that was
fucking Mormons.
Dude. That was a very obvious one as well.
Never attack a Mormon in Utah.
Bro, I was telling Jeremy Hill this on pregame today, and he didn't want to hear it. But I said this on AFR earlier this week. Notre Dame's going to get in the playoff. Notre Dame's a one-loss team. They're ranked 8th. Oregon lost, so the Pac-12's out. You're going to have, I think, Bama, Georgia will play in the SEC championship game. I think Georgia will beat Bama. Yeah. So Bama will be out. You'll have Georgia. You'll have a one-loss Big Ten champion, which I think is going to be Ohio State.
Yep.
And then you're going to have a one-loss Big 12 champion if Oklahoma or Oklahoma State beats each other the next 2 weeks. And then you're going to have Notre Dame or Cincinnati. And if Oklahoma State beat each other the next 2 weeks, they're out, and then it's Cincinnati and Notre Dame. That's your Final Four. Notre Dame's getting in, bro. I'm telling you, Notre Dame's getting in.
Does Houston being so good help Cincinnati at all? Like if because Houston's like 10-1 now?
Yeah, Houston's good. They're ranked 24th.
That's what I'm saying. So if Cincinnati wins, or you think it's kind of irrelevant? Like Houston's quality is irrelevant. Obviously, Cincinnati has to win.
I don't think if the committee has the opportunity to put Notre Dame in the field, they're going to put Notre Dame in the field. They've just shown time and time again they're not going to. And the real hell of it would be would they pass on an undefeated Cincinnati for a one-loss Notre Dame that lost head-to-head to Cincinnati.
Yeah, they couldn't do that.
They did it. They did it with Ohio State and Penn State a few years ago, where Penn State won the Big Ten and beat Ohio State straight up. They put Ohio State in.
But didn't Penn State have one more loss?
Penn State had one more loss, but Penn State won the conference and beat Ohio State. The committee will do whatever the fuck they want. And you better believe their whole thing is eyeballs, viewers, attention, brand names, and Notre Dame is it. Cincinnati ain't, bro.
Damn, dude, that's fucking wild.
Get ready for it.
That's wild to think that Oklahoma State is that close.
If
in a year where their offense isn't actually like that good,
if
right?
Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma next week in Bedlam, those two teams would play again the next week in the Big 12 championship game. They're going to play back-to-back weeks.
So the most boring – that's going to be interesting. So the most boring scenario is probably Alabama winning, because then Alabama and Georgia are automatically in,
yes,
right?
That's the thing that could fuck it up. If Bama beats Georgia, they're both in. Then the one-loss Big Ten champion is in. And then the decision is it one-loss Notre Dame, is it undefeated Cincinnati, or is it one-loss Big 12?
Okay, this is not true. B. Salter says, Mel Tucker was never a great coordinator any level. Why do you have a hard-on for Mel? It's strange. What are you talking about? Mel Tucker was a great DC at Georgia.
And Bama.
Yeah.
And he was DC in the NFL. Yeah. He was the interim head coach with the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I think Mel Tucker.
Tucker's resume is great.
I think Mel Tucker would be fine. I think he'll do fine at Michigan State.
Hey, Mel Tucker's one of the highest paid coaches in all of American sports now. Or he will be whenever they finalize this extension. Okay, we got a super chat from Jeb Whitley. Great listener, Jeb Whitley. It says Aranda, Napier, Riley, Kiffin. Do we think, Matt, listen to this. Aranda, Napier, Riley, Kiffin. Do we think one of these three, do we think it's going to be one of these four? He says it's 4 names. He says one of these three. Then one of these 4, and how satisfied do these candidates make you? Aranda, Napier, Riley, Kiffin. Let's just,
okay.
For the purpose of this, we'll take, oh, no, Riley's in there. Okay, yeah.
All right, so I'll tell you this. I've been told point blank Kiffin is a no for Scott Woodward. Okay. So I don't believe Scott will hire Lane Kiffin. Pearl Jam daughter.
And there's going to be other Lane Kiffin jobs out there, too.
I was told tonight that there are people at Ole Miss that are worried that Lane will be in the mix at Florida. And I was told probably 8 weeks ago that Lane had eyes on the Miami job, getting back to South Florida. So that may blow some people's minds, but you just have to understand what the limitations are at Ole Miss. It's amazing. He's going to win 10. They beat Mississippi State next week. They're 10-2. They're in the New Year's Six. But you're never going to win a championship at Ole Miss. You're in a division with Alabama, LSU, Auburn, A&M. Your resources are so low. It's just there's a reason they've never been to Atlanta. He's maxing out Ole Miss right now.
You think Matt Corral wins the Heisman?
No.
Okay.
It'll be either C.J. Stroud from Ohio State or Bama.
Bryce Young?
Young from Bama. It'll be one of those two.
Gross. How boring.
But I'm going to tell you, the Heisman is the week after the championship weekend. If Bama loses to Georgia and Bryce Young gets throttled in that game and C.J. Stroud has a big game in the Big Ten championship, Stroud's going to win it. If I had to guess today, it'll be Stroud. Because if those two are even in the minds of voters, going into that championship weekend, they'll let that be the deciding factor. I think Ohio State wins and Bama loses. I think Stroud wins the Heisman.
Ryan Caldwell asks, why wouldn't Baylor play in the Big 12 championship if they have the tiebreaker over OU?
They would.
Okay, they would.
So if Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma, Oklahoma State will play Baylor.
Okay.
If Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State, the two teams play again the following weekend.
Because Baylor has 2 losses?
And Oklahoma State beat Baylor.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Oh, wait, no. Did they?
I don't know.
They played.
I don't know, actually. Michael Merritt says, why is Kiffin a no? I really don't understand that.
You'd have to ask Scott Woodward. But my guess is a lot of it is the perception or Kiffin's off the field stuff and all that. But I'm relaying information that I believe is valid.
Okay, so Kiffin's out.
Kiffin would be a no for Scott.
So let's go back to the original.
Similarly, with respect to Mel Tucker, there were factions at LSU that were very bullish on Mel Tucker. But I also believe that this is Scott Woodward's decision. That has been made clear, and I don't think Mel Tucker was ever Scott Woodward's guy. So I don't know that Mel was ever really the guy in this search because he was never Scott's guy.
So what did we say? Aranda, Napier,
and now
Riley.
Aranda. For me, and I can only relate to you information that I've been given that I deem credible, okay? I have not had anybody that I would deem credible mention Dave Aranda's name to me. Fans mention it all the time. Fans throw that out there as if it's a given that he'll be considered. But Dave Aranda's only in his second year as a head coach. He's done really well at Baylor.
Yeah.
But that's not a Scott Woodward hire.
He also didn't take over the worst situation.
That's true.
Like if we're just talking like it's actually different. A lot of people compare him and Tucker as being very similar, and they are in a lot of ways. But Tucker took over a markedly worse situation than did
no doubt.
Dave Aranda.
No doubt. But that's not a Scott Woodward hire.
Yeah.
Dave Aranda would not be a splasher. I think Dave Aranda is more in the mix for one of the West Coast jobs, either USC or Washington. I think either one of those makes more sense for Dave than LSU. There's familiarity at LSU with fans with Dave, but I've not – no, I mean, from any of the people that I speak with that I deem credible, that have had good info and are connected to decision-making process, no one has mentioned Dave Aranda to me. No one. Like, literally no one has met – like, it's a fan thing all the time, but nobody's mentioned that name to me.
But it is a fan thing, but there also are, like, a lot of football minds that'd be into it. Like, I know Jake's very into Aranda for sure.
That's fine.
No, I know what you're saying, though, but you're saying,
I'm just trying to say, like, if we're trying to have a conversation that's going to lead us toward who is being considered and who might inevitably get this job, I don't think it's going to be Dave Aranda, because I haven't had anybody mention that Dave Aranda is in the mix here. So I don't believe he is. I don't believe Dave Aranda is in the mix. I do believe that if Oklahoma loses again and they're eliminated from playoff contention, that Lincoln Riley will be offered the job and will be offered the giant contract, and I think he'll take it.
So now that we're rethinking about it, they're not eliminated, though, even after dropping to 13 in this most recent CFP?
If they look, Oklahoma State is a top 10 team. If they beat Oklahoma State next week and then a week later win the Big 12 championship, you're a one-loss Big 12 champion. Oklahoma is, with all, like, look, Oregon's out now. I mean, I think a 2-loss Bama, if they lose to Georgia in the SEC championship, they'll be out. I mean, you're eliminating, you're what are your remaining options? It kind of becomes the conversation, right? So, I mean, I look at Riley as I believe Scott may still call Jimbo. I think Jimbo's staying put. I'll tell y'all.
Bro, it would be so wild if he would leave after that quote that he had the other day.
Convos that I had last week were that Jimbo was being asked by recruits before the Ole Miss game if he was leaving for LSU. He needed to come out and make a very bold statement. Look at the class he's putting together right now at A&M. And it's not surprising that 2 days later, Le'Veon Moss from Struma commits to A&M. Put the pieces together here.
But also, his quote, you can kind of take it at face value, though, that there is, something there where he's like, I'd have to be pretty fucking dumb. I'm putting together this incredible class. You think I'm going to, turn around and want to go play against them, right? Okay, so whatever. Jimbo, I guess, remains an outside shot. It still feels like an outside shot. So is it Riley and Napier right now? And then there's Stoops popping up recently?
Mark Stoops. I think Mark Stoops is an agent fabrication.
That makes sense.
I think that is Mark Stoops' agent getting his guys. I need a match. That's not any matches. Yeah, thank you. I think Mark Stoops is an agent fabrication, trying to get his. And don't think that doesn't happen, where agents drop because they fucking drop names to me all the time. But it's intentional. They're trying to get their client's name mentioned for jobs. I'll tell you one that you're going to hear a lot, not for LSU necessarily, but coming up, is fucking Row the Boat guy at Minnesota. PJ Fleck at Minnesota.
Who Terry Bowden had a great PJ Fleck vibe going on tonight.
PJ Fleck is aching to get out of Minnesota. You were going to start hearing his name up because he is. It's like Dan Mullen at Mississippi State. Dan Mullen was trying to get out of Starkville for 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's why Dan Mullen's name popped up for every fucking job, because he was aching to get out of there. And it just so happened that the guy who was his AD at Mississippi State gets the Florida job, and they had a change, and he hired. Okay. But I think Jimbo stays put. I think if Oklahoma loses again, they're out of playoff contention. I do think they'll offer Riley. So, if Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma next week in Bedlam, I think Lincoln Riley's the LSU coach.
Oh.
I think they'll go make him a $12 million a year offer, and I think he'll take the job. I do not believe, I know it was reported this week, we talked about it on Moscona and T, I do not believe that job has been offered. I do not. I'm very confident saying that no formal offer has been made.
So what do you qualify as a formal offer?
We are offering you this job. Here's the contract and the terms.
Okay, but
would you like to be the next coach?
Okay, so you say that, but then I'm saying when you also, though, a few weeks ago talk about Woodward putting out the lure of 8 years, $100 million or whatever. So how's that work?
I did say that about a month ago, didn't I?
Yeah. So how's that work with that being the lure, but not the offer? You know what I'm saying? Where's the dividing line there? Because is it not like a look? If you take it, this is the offer.
That was floated out there to see what type of inbound interest he could get. Right? Who would be interested? I told you, my theory is that's how Mike Tomlin popped up. Mike Tomlin makes $8 million a year with the Steelers. Woodward goes and floats that number in agent circles. Hey, would you like to talk to Mike Tomlin? Then you get Tomlin's name mentioned, which happened, right? And you don't think the Rooneys are going to look at the deal they have with their guy right now and sweeten the pot for Mike Tomlin? He got a chance to go stand in front of a podium and talk about having the best job in professional sports and why would he ever leave, and he basically shat on LSU and USC. And I was like, the Rooneys have to feel great about that. Reward your guy.
So no official offer on Riley, but I get what you're saying. If they lose next week, then you think it'll be good.
I think they'll make the Riley. That is a Scott Woodward hire.
So once you get past Riley,
that becomes the big question.
Is Napier tier 1? Is he the A1 candidate?
I think that's where you start to go. Okay, how do you sort through it all? Recently I've heard Matt Campbell's name, which I trust is good info. I don't know if Matt Campbell would be a great hire because the MO of Matt Campbell is he does not like the idea of battling for 5-star recruits.
Yeah.
And brother, if
it's very Iowa of him.
If that ain't your game, how are you going to compete with Nick and Jimbo and Kirby in the SEC? You know what I mean?
Like, you're not going.
I don't think that's doable. Which is why Napier becomes more appealing. And then maybe you start looking beyond. Like people mention Aranda, although I don't believe that that's legit, at least not now. Not to say it couldn't change. It could. I just haven't heard anything that would lead you that way. In the last, I'd say 3 to 4 days, there has been a lot of momentum around Napier. His legion, his army, Napier's army, are pounding the pavement for him. And I think that's gotten a lot of attention. And then you go see what he did today at Liberty, and you look at the context
and you look at like all the years
of what he's done and been at Bama and been at Clemson and been at Arizona State, great recruiter, played quarterback in college, all this sort of stuff. Like, he checks a lot of boxes. The question is, can Scott Woodward get over the fact that he coaches in Lafayette? And I do believe that's a very real, barrier.
That's a real barrier?
I don't think. I know that is a very real barrier.
Wow.
The perception of hiring the coach from Lafayette. Absolutely.
That would feel a bit – it feels a bit odd to me that would be a real hang-up.
It's true, bro.
You think it's a personal hang-up, or do you think it's the money people would not react kindly, and obviously Scott knows, like, okay, so you think it is like a personal – oh, wow. I mean, that would seem like the ultimate kind of hubris if that was really what would take him out. I mean, it would be a big jump up, make no mistake, but – look, man, on balance, I'm a sucker, and I know I say not to be married to week-to-week results. And, again, I'm not necessarily. But, you kind of look up. What has UL won 10 games now 3 times in a row, 3 seasons in a row? It's like I know how tough it is to win at UL, and he has them here ranked for a second year in a row.
He doesn't coach at Louisville. He coaches at Lafayette at ULM.
Oh, my God. Again, something that we cannot get into. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. I just had a moment today. Where I was like, okay, I'm open.
Look at Billy Fajoko.
I'm open to
What's up, Billy Fajoko?
Oh, the warrior.
God,
what's
dude.
happening, bruh?
Is there a more like just kind, spirited family that you've ever met?
No,
you know what I mean? Like
love the Fajoko.
The whole. I mean, they're friggin' awesome, man. Like every time I talk to Braden too, just awesome people, man. Thank you for watching, Billy.
People.
Shout out. I don't know if he's in Hawaii or where he is, but shout out, Billy.
Shout out Chargers. I love Brandon Staley.
Braden got signed.
Still holding it down. I told you, bro.
Fucking awesome, man.
Told you.
I'm fired up for him.
Told you. NFL D lineman, let's roll.
So anyway, I don't know that this gets beyond Riley. If it does, I think there's a lot of smoke around Napier.
So we just kind of talked about this, but a smoke break gave a $10 super chat. Said last time I asked about Napier, you blew up live. Are you still cold on Napier? Would you be happy with him as a hire?
Am I okay with Napier?
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
My feeling on this hire, I am in a – so this is strange for me, right? Because professionally, I've always just had very strong opinions, right? That's the thing I do. I have opinions. I have strong opinions. I go hard with them. Like, that's just my thing.
Yeah, that's true.
This is one of the – like, it's so weird because I thought 2016 was such a pivotal moment for the LSU program because Les had been in place for so long.
15 years.
And it was so – it wasn't that
not
long.
15
it was 12.
years.
But it had been so long. He was in his 12th season. It's just so rare that you make a hire – and it felt like that was the moment where you could have been setting up the program for the next decade plus, right? But now that they've won another title, and the last 3 coaches have done it, and because I trust Scott Woodward in what he's looking for in a coach, I don't want to say agnostic, but I just think any of the guys that we're talking about would do really well with the resources at LSU. I think they're all good coaches that have good resumes, that are smart people, and that Scott knows what he's looking for. And look at what he's done in the 2 major hires he's made. He knocked it out the park with Kim. And then in baseball, he aimed big. They weren't able to finish the deal with O'Sullivan. And he lands on Jay Johnson, and that's phenomenal so far.
Is Billy Napier, I was thinking about this tonight, is Billy Napier actually the best analog for Jay Johnson?
No, because Jay is I don't think you can go, 1 for 1 there.
Well, it's weird to go one way. It's apples to oranges kind of inherently because it's baseball to football. But I'm just thinking like, I guess this is where I was at in my headspace. It's just that, yes, okay, nothing at UL is like making Omaha, but in the context of how hard it is to win at UL,
I would say
he has like so far exceeded those expectations that it's kind of like a similar resume in terms of doing very good where he was at.
I think a better comp would have been had they hired Cliff Godwin from ECU.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Cliff Godwin had made he had made regionals and super regionals, and like he had really maxed out what you can do there, but hadn't really. Jay Johnson was in a championship series. I mean, he was 2 wins away from a natty.
That's true.
At
I
Arizona.
forgot that.
You know what I mean? Like,
but baseball is different. Baseball is different.
But Jay was more accomplished as a head coach than Billy is, in some of its circumstance because of where they are. But that's also reality. Like if Billy Napier had gotten ULL to a New Year's 6 game, then I think that would be more comparable. But it's not.
Kirk Taylor says, this game was just like watching a cheaply made straight-to-DVD movie. Terrible cast, terrible setting, just bad. Does LSU have a chance against A&M? Hopefully Besh isn't hurt too bad.
Do they have a chance? Sure they have a chance. Absolutely. It's
yeah,
football.
A&M, but even beyond that, A&M's shown some cracks as of late. We've seen some interesting trends. We've seen some interesting trends, later, y'all. We've seen some interesting trends in the SEC lately, right? Where, like,
later, guys,
a lot of our mid-season takes have now been adjusted, right? A few weeks ago, Brian Harsin was like, Auburn, I mean, let's go, dude. What a job he's doing. Look at this turnaround. And now,
by the way, your boy had a money line playing South Carolina.
Yeah, you did. You said that's going to team.
I crushed this week. And it's
good. All of a sudden, Harsin's fortunes have completely turned against him. Drinkwitz was kind of like a year 2 bummer. Like, man, he had all this hype coming. He's bad. And now, okay.
Last 2 weeks.
You beat South Carolina.
Beat Florida.
You beat Florida today with a great 2-point conversion. You fuck Mullen in the press conference, which I loved. Actually, let's talk about that for a second. For those that don't know, Dan Mullen last year after beat Missouri, he had the Darth Vader mask on, all that shit in the postgame press conference. This year, at the end, Drinkwitz says, may the force be with you, and he busts out a lightsaber. I love it, obviously. But there's always room for improvement. The one thing that Drinkwitz could have done better, because Mullen dressed as Vader, he never ignited his lightsaber. If he had ignited the lightsaber and it had been blue or green, then he would have said, I'm a Jedi, Mullen's Vader, and it would have been a direct kind of rebuttal of what Mullen did. Instead, I give it a 6 out of 10. I still like it, but it could have been better.
There's a super chat I want you to get to in a second, but let me answer this. Cobb Brister said, I call BS on that, Matt. How do you get in the playoffs from a G5? Even Fickle can't. I didn't say playoffs. I said New Year's 6.
Did say New Year's 6?
I said New Year's 6, not playoff. New Year's, like, Herman had Houston in the New Year's 6. Fleck had Western Michigan in the New Year's 6. Fickle had Cincinnati.
Western Michigan played in the New Year's 6?
Yeah, they played in the Cotton Bowl against Wisconsin.
What?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Row the fucking boat. Let's get PJ
Fleck.
Fleck.
That's why it was crazy that he took the Minnesota job. I mean, he was a hot name. It's like, why would you go take the Minnesota job? Anyway, but yeah.
Hey, Minnesota played Ohio State pretty good at the beginning of the year.
We've seen G5 schools get into the New Year's 6. I mean, the highest ranked G5 team gets into the New Year's 6. Like I think if they're in the top 13 or some shit like that. So.
Has Aranda won the Sun Belt yet? Or not Aranda, sorry, Napier. He hasn't won the Sun Belt, right?
They have not won the
So that would be a big step forward. If
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
I don't think that matters. So, but I wanted to answer because that was a valid point. Read that super chat.
Gulf South. Let's be real. College football only has 5 Tier 1 coaches. Saban, Dabo, Riley, Brian Kelly, and Ryan Day. And we ain't getting any of them.
I would say the only 2 coaches, well, I'd say if there's 3 coaches you have no shot of getting. Only 3. Saban, Ryan Day, Kirby. That's it. Those are the only 3 that wouldn't even listen, wouldn't even entertain.
You're not putting Dabo in there?
Dabo absolutely would listen. For $12 million and the crap he's taken this year after winning 2 natties and playing for 2 more there, like Dabo would listen. If circumstance, I'm not saying that it would be an easy no-doubter, but he would listen. And Riley absolutely would. And I'll tell you, there was contact made early with Brian Kelly's people, and that was vetted. And my impression of how that went, and I'll tell you, Brian Kelly made calls to – and this is how – I think a lot of people don't understand this, and I don't mind explaining this, but Scott Woodward's very close to the vest. He's not leaking anything. Scott hadn't said shit. That's his MO, and he's right not to. But anytime you reach out to anybody, there's someone else on the other side of the phone. And that person may not be as tight-lipped as Scott is. So a lot of times you vet information from the other side of things. So, like, I know because Brian Kelly personally reached out to people around here to kind of get a feel for it. And the feeling I get is he just, at this point in his career, wasn't interested in starting over in the pressure cooker that is here.
Oh, it's hot. He's comfortable right now.
So,
I mean, they're happy with him.
I mean,
now it is interesting because LSU would represent the potential to kind of get over the final hump that has kind of stonewalled him. But yeah, I feel you, bro. You're stepping into a fucking ant pile here compared to where he's at Notre Dame.
And let me explain, because someone just was questioning. It was Dane DeLatz asking, like, Ryan Day, we can double his salary, blah, blah, blah. You got to understand the advantages that LSU has. I believe there's only 2 other programs in America that share the geographical advantage that LSU has, which is only Power 5 in a talent-rich state in a power conference with a shit pile of money and administrators and boosters that give a damn and that'll spend it. There's only 2. It's Georgia, with respect to Georgia Tech.
I'm glad that you said Georgia. I thought you weren't going to say that because a lot of people don't put Georgia there, but I agree. Georgia's the only.
Because of Georgia Tech.
They're the only Power 5.
But Georgia Tech isn't fishing in the same pool.
Does not.
Georgia
Tech is irrelevant to Georgia. They're irrelevant to Georgia.
Georgia's a talent-rich state. Dogs are the only game in town, all that sort of stuff. And the other is Ohio State. That's why Kirby and Day have those situations like the LSU coach, whoever the LSU coach is, has. So you're not pulling those and you're not pulling Nick. Anyone else, LSU has I'm not saying it's easy that anybody would just run here, but you can make a sales pitch to anyone else and convince them to take the job. Like, that's the geographical advantage LSU has. That, like, USC doesn't have that because it's USC and UCLA, and then you also in that state. Stanford's different, but they're also in that state. And Cal, you have other Power 5s in the state, and then teams pillage, and USC has had these long stretches of being irrelevant. Texas, as many resources they have, you have Texas A&M and Texas Tech and Baylor, and then LSU comes in, and Oklahoma comes in and takes talent. You know what I mean? Louisiana, LSU,
and the thing about Ohio is they have a shit ton more people.
Yeah, and the state of Ohio is a talent-rich state.
That's what I'm saying, but just like population-wise, like Louisiana has talent per capita. But at the end of the day, we aren't a very populous state.
Right. So
even Ohio has a greater geographical advantage, and so does Georgia, than does Louisiana. Okay. So
you want to do game flow?
Yeah, we can do game flow.
Does anybody want to get really? I'm a sound wave. Does anybody really give a shit about game flow?
Yeah, I mean game flow.
I'm gonna go through the game, the LSU-ULM game.
Fucking Boogie Knight scored a touchdown. That was tight. Dude named Boogie Knight.
So good.
That's fucking awesome. And Knight spelled like in the medieval sense.
Dude,
A-N-I-G-H.
Dude, I was going through all my pregame notes and everything. I saw the guy's Boogie Knight on there. I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful.
What about Bill O'Brien?
Dirk Diggler.
I hope not.
So
that feels like so lame.
I guess that's the one name we haven't talked about, right? So okay. When LSU got shithoused by Kentucky, we were sitting here, and I tweeted. I'll even show you the fucking tweet. It was October the 9th. And I tweeted, okay, I'll start. And I listed 4 names. And I listed Lane Kiffin, Luke Fickell. Shit, I'm trying to find the tweet. Hang on. James Franklin, and Bill O'Brien. I'll show you the fucking tweet so you can confirm. There's the tweet.
Yeah, I see it.
There's the tweet. So that was October the 9th.
Yeah.
We're so far down along this road. I don't mind sharing the shit with y'all that I might not whenever it first happened. But after LSU lost to UCLA that week after, I had word from a couple of boosters that had been contacted to contribute to the buyout. Like, at that point, it was over. Like, Ed was getting fired. Like, he was not saving his job.
It wasn't announced? No, because Florida wasn't
I'm talking about UCLA.
Oh, UCLA, yeah.
This is when I heard. That was UCLA, okay, was when it was done. Scott was already getting his ducks in a row before the season. When they lost to UCLA, it was like, all right, this is inevitable. Like, this team isn't good enough. They're going to have more losses, and it's going to be. We talked about before the season. He needed 9-3 to save his job. Once they lost to UCLA, it was over.
Yeah.
Like, they were going to lose to Bama, and they were going to drop another. Like, it was over. And the first two names I heard were Kiffin and O'Brien. First two names I heard. Now, you got to keep in mind, this was September, okay? And you always start with a big list. All right, who are the guys that we like to think about? Who could be on the list, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I keep using this dating analogy. It's like, who do you want to go have a first date with? Go sit in coffee to see if it's worth having a second date. That's where it started. From that point, though, I never heard Bill O'Brien's name again. Never heard it again until last week. Never heard it again until last week. So Reese Davis put it out there, and because it was Reese Davis, I think it got a lot of attention because of who he is.
That would just feel like such a Jeremy Pruitt-esque misstep. And I know that he has a way better resume than Pruitt, so that's not probably a fair comparison. But just in terms of like going for the, I don't trust these Alabama coaches that are having success at Alabama for the same reason that I don't always trust Alabama players translating to the NFL. It's easy to fucking coach when your team's just better than the other person. Look at Sark.
Yeah.
Look at Sark. I mean, that's the real thing about Bill O'Brien. I mean, is that not Sark 2.0? And I'm not saying that Sark won't work out of Texas long term. Maybe he does, right? Maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong. But where we sit today, Sark feels like he was a way bigger beneficiary of Alabama than Alabama was of Sark.
Mm-hmm.
The offense hasn't missed a fucking beat. I mean, they're not as good. Alabama isn't this year, but fucking Bryce Young's thrown 5 touchdowns 2 weeks in a row.
I think Sark's going to be fine at Texas, by the way.
No, I think he might. I think he might too. But all I'm saying is, okay, well, but the year one's been a disaster.
Yeah,
it looked good early on. It's been an objective disaster. I'm not saying he's not going to work out there. He may, but it is clear that Sark benefited more from Alabama than Alabama benefited from Sark. And so hire Alabama assistants, and I don't mean like Napier and them, guys who've gone on and made their own way, but hire those assistants. You know, you're putting yourself out there. Just be careful.
But then look at Kirby, and there are those that have had success.
Kirby's a little different, though, right? Because Kirby didn't enter the rehabilitation program. He was born into it, molded by it. He bided his time. He waited, and he struck when the opportunity was there. Sark went through the rehab program. Bill O'Brien went through the rehab program. They're temporary stays. Kirby was there. Okay, Lane would be a better example of like a guy who. Okay, Lane. Now I'm thinking about Lane and Bill O'Brien's resumes. Yeah.
Here's the thing about Bill. Okay, if I did a blind resume, all right. If I did a blind resume and I said, here's a coach that was OC at the Patriots, under Bill Belichick, worked with Tom Brady. Was a head coach at Penn State and was the national coach of the year there. Became a head coach in the NFL. Head coach and GM. Won 4 division titles during his time in the NFL.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
And then also coached under Nick Saban at Alabama. Blind resume? That's pretty fucking impressive.
That's
like,
not bad.
That's a really good resume. Like, that's a Scott Woodward resume right there. Belichick, Brady, Saban, national coach of the year, fucking NFL head coach, won 4 division titles. Like, that's a good resume. Like, if you put out of your mind whatever it is you think about Bill O'Brien, that dude, I think, now my opinion is, I think he was a terrible GM. Like, trading Clowney, trading
well, I mean, that's
Hopkins.
Bro, you can't trade Hopkins for,
come on,
for fucking
come on, like,
the running back with David Johnson.
Like, so that's my point. Like, as a GM, I think he was terrible. And I think there's also a lot that, like, his personality was really abrasive and probably didn't work great in an NFL locker room, and probably learned a lot of that from Belichick.
Does the GM thing worry you at all, given that a lot of a college football coach is a GM?
No, because the difference is in college you just recruit the best players. You know what I mean? Like, in the NFL, you have to draft, and you have to sign free agents. You have to make personnel decisions on a 53-man roster. And
he
manage the salary cap.
He had like a money problem with DeAndre. Like,
yeah,
he didn't want to pay him.
Exactly. It's a lot of that stuff. So my point is, I think O'Brien's resume is really solid. There's a lot of people who I think don't like Bill O'Brien because of the personality and a lot of that stuff, which I get it. If he's not a cultural fit for here, okay, don't hire him. But the football coach and the stuff he's done, bro, the situation he inherited at Penn State, you got to keep in mind. When he took the Penn State job, not only did they have a Big Ten championship ban, they had a bowl ban, they had scholarship limitations, and players on that Penn State team were allowed to transfer and be immediately eligible.
Yeah.
Because they were ineligible for bowl game.
Yeah, everybody left.
And everybody left. And he went 8-4 and won National Coach of the Year. Like, it was incredible. When have you ever seen a coach go 8-4 and win National Coach of the Year?
So that's actually kind of, to me, though, unfortunately, that is a bit of a red flag with the National Coach of the Year title. Because while it's an impressive job, I'm not saying that. It is a National Coach of the Year that is awarded because of the extreme context of Penn State. Mm-hmm. And it's still well earned to go 8-4. I get all that, but I'm just saying it just muddies the waters a little bit.
This is the condon handy thing. Like, I'm not pushing Bill O'Brien, but you're saying you'd be okay with it? Yeah. Okay.
No. Now that you've laid, and you know me, I'm like I said, I'm going to talk myself into whoever it is, but I'm
in the same spot actually.
You do make the resume. The resume is stronger than it feels. Yeah. That is for sure. The guy that I think we would all really love, but is this just completely out? There's no Matt Rule hope, right? Because the Panthers are stabilizing and okay. I think Matt Rule would obviously be like the biggest, or not obviously, but I think he would be like the biggest home run hire.
I think he would do awesome here, but I don't think so. And you're not going to wait until January, you know.
No.
By the way, UCLA curb stomped USC today.
I love it.
Put a 60 burger on them.
Yeah, see, no shame in losing to UCLA, dude.
They've had their ups and downs this year, but they do have some nice wins though. But I will say this: one more thing about Napier. I was told like weeks ago from people close to Billy that he would be interested in Virginia Tech if it came open. And Virginia Tech's now open. Also been told that he's probably the top of the TCU list. That if he wants TCU, he will get that job. But I think Florida complicates things. Because if Florida offers him their job, he'll take that.
Well, I saw your tweet earlier. You believe that tweet?
I tweeted, I think I said something to the effect of,
you said LSU will either be playing for Napier
next year
or against Napier next year.
I think there's a really good chance, yeah. Now, the other thing, I think, earlier today there were some people at Ole Miss that expressed to me that they're worried about Kiffin going to Florida. I don't know if I said that here yet. But,
yeah, we talked about it earlier a little bit.
But that's interesting. And I don't know that Florida and LSU are exactly fishing for the same candidates, but it does complicate things. You know, it puts a little more pressure because it's a power program in your conference. You know, I think that's legitimate.
You know what's fucking crazy?
Chet Buxton, Sissy Blue.
Smash
the like button. Come on, we had 870 watching, 248 likes. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. But please smash the like button if you haven't done that yet. By the way, our video feed on YouTube looks awesome now. So I don't know what happened.
Maybe you're like a bunch of people on the Wi-Fi or something. Who knows?
Well, we're not on Wi-Fi. We're hardwired on the Ethernet, which is so perplexing because it's the same thing. Facebook is screwed up. That's why I posted. If you're watching on Facebook, I pinned the YouTube link. The YouTube link is clear. The audio is great. The video is great now. So just head over to YouTube.
There's been an undercurrent of Urban on here. Is there any Urban Meyer talks anymore?
No.
Yeah.
Literally zero.
Yeah. Literally zero. Well, you know what's more than zero? 20% more propane in every tank. That's right. My name is T-Bob, and I sell propane and propane accessories. Thanks to Vacherie Fuel. Go to VacherieFuel.com. Fuck, you can go to the website, but the point is, no. Go into Mathern's, go into Rouse's, go into High Neighbor. Go buy Vacherie Fuel tanks.
They got it at Alexander's, too.
There you go, at Alexander's. Go buy Vacherie Fuel tanks. Again, fuck Blue Rhino, fuck Amerigas. Okay, Vacherie tank, 20% more propane in every tank. You get that extra boil in. You keep your customers happy. If you're a restaurant owner, go ahead and get those tanks. It's getting a little cold out here, okay? You're going to keep your customers nice and warm thanks to Vacherie Fuel, VacherieFuel.com. Vacherie Fuel tanks, Louisiana Propane Gas Association. I love y'all boys. LPGA, let's roll.
And the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, online, theantiagingclinics.com. Great people. I would highly recommend that anybody, man, woman, young, old, I would always recommend you go do your blood labs. You should do that annually anyway. I do it twice a year, every 6 months. It's crazy, because they'll check all your organ function too, like liver, kidney, colon, prostate, all that sort of stuff, along with hormone levels. It's so worth it just to make sure that you're on the up and up. And if anything comes up that's irregular, they can supplement you safely, affordably to get you feeling better. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, beautiful facility near Perkins. Ambassador Caffrey and Lafayette are online, theantiagingclinics.com. And, of course, Don Juan Cigar Bar, our host. Look, we asked you, look, well, I firmly believe. I don't believe in paywalls. I never believe in, passing costs on the audience. We'll always put out free content. The way that you can help us, smash the like button on YouTube, share it on Facebook, and support our sponsors. So go pick up some Vacherie Fuel tanks. You'd want a whiskey or a cigar, come to Don Juan. Aesthetic Medicine, great folks. Dr. Todd Howell's awesome guy. Their whole staff over there is fantastic. Support our sponsors. That's how you can help us.
Vacherie Hebert says, Nuss and Max, are they transferring?
You know what was interesting? Garrett Nussmeier did not dress tonight. He was not dressed, was not there tonight.
Oh, so they really were like, the red shirt is fully on. Oh, seems like you got something on your chest there.
I would more lean on you. If a player's redshirting, wouldn't he still dress and be with the team?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to overread into things, but yeah, generally in my experience.
How do you not?
Yeah.
Somebody said, "What cigar y'all smoking?"
Clay Texas.
He did not give us the cigar notes
either.
But this is Diesel.
I don't know. This is a roach
it's
at this
Diesel
point.
Whiskey Row. How about that? This actually is a fantastic cigar, and it is potent too. I got a little cigar buzz.
I don't know that we've had a bad cigar since we've been
no,
here.
For sure.
This is definitely, though, a little heavier than last week. Last week was maybe the most chill smoke. It's Pitcher Pizza.
It's Diesel.
I take a bag of Hammers over Riley.
He said 6 out of 10 on pronunciation. It's literally Diesel Whiskey Root.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whiskey Row. It's Diesel Whiskey Row. What the fuck you mean pronunciation?
Yeah, Diesel.
No, it's not. It's Diesel.
Diesel is how it's pronounced.
It's Diesel.
You put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
No.
It's Diesel.
You just did that. It's Diesel Whiskey Row is what this cigar is called.
Let's get some more chats here. T-Bob looks like he has an oral fixation. I do. It's Freudian. Ever since I suckled from my mother's teat, I just never lost it. Matt orders a drink. The bartender needs a tip. T-Bob wants cereal. I don't know what the fuck chat's talking about anymore. I've had cereal quite a bit.
A couple things from this game. So we have done nothing about this game.
Right.
I'm sure most people don't care. Most people are way more interested in the coaching stuff.
But also, we've kind of talked through it all.
The Jay Ward pick six that brought back, and that's when Cade York missed the field goal.
Yeah.
Which is a super bummer because I was still kind of holding out hope that York could win the.
A bunch of people are saying they heard Nuss had the flu, for whatever that's worth. That's what
I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case. That would make
that would make sense. That would make sense.
That would make a ton of sense.
That would make a lot of sense.
And I would be way good with that. But Ward, that interception, when we talk about irrefutable video evidence, right? There was nothing there that definitively showed that he was on the white.
Yeah.
It was close. It was absolutely close. But that camera angle And that's one of the things when you're on ESPN2 at 8 p.m. playing ULM, you get like 4 cameras in the fucking place. It's not the national championship game where they have 40 cameras in the place.
There was no like zoomed in
There was
ultra high def shot where you're like, oh look, you can see
that's
green.
it. Yeah.
You can see a sliver of green between the white and the cleat.
So I actually had a big problem with them taking that touchdown off the board. The call
that
on
was
the field
kind
was
of some
touchdown.
bullshit, dude.
Like there were, like I saw. I mean, you could see the still shot on the screen. It didn't show definitively that his foot was on the line. I mean, and that was a big play in the game at the time, man. Like because, you're up at that point. It's only 7-0 at that point.
Yeah,
it's 7-0. That's going to be 14-0 at that point. But York missed the field goal. Forgive me. He missed the field goal on the previous possession. Then the pick six is when he made the 27-yard field goal after the pick six. But still, man, it's like that was a pretty pivotal moment at that time in the game where it felt like it could have blown open. And then, thankfully, LSU came up with a couple of really nice, goal line stands.
I'm kind of shocked that LSU didn't blow this open because they came out. It looked like the boys gave a fuck. It didn't look like they were checked out. They shut him down. They go down and score immediately. Like, it just felt like everything was trending in. And then it was 17-0. I guess it all turned on the fake punt a bit, which, there's no excuse for the second half offensive struggles, obviously, but it's just surprising to me that early on I was encouraged, but what I saw from an attitude standpoint, it just didn't really translate too well, unfortunately.
I mean, like Hal said, Matt, he was out. You can't say with 100% certainty, again, 100% certainty, irrefutable video evidence.
Yeah.
It was not there.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I'm inclined to agree. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, though, so that's just easy to say. But
like the fact that we're having the conversation tells you it wasn't irrefutable video evidence.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the fact that there's even a conversation about it tells you it's not 100%.
What else stood out from today's game? Okay, the fumble Rooski was almost tight.
Oh, God.
Another touchdown that got taken away.
Well, that one was right.
Kellen Mondes.
And I was going to say, by the way, and the funny thing is, Cobble tweeted like, if he wasn't down at A&M, he's not down now. I was like, hey,
he was down at A&M though.
That's what I tweeted back. I was like, he was down. That's why Grant Delpit's game-ending interception was taken off the board because of that exact scenario that unfolded. His knee was down. That ended the play.
Well, and
Cobble tweeted like, fuck you for questioning my misremembering or something like that.
Well, but I mean, the Mon thing is still funny because it was such a weird situation where if they would have ruled him down, A&M would have been fucked because the clock was running and, they were sacked. But because it got reviewed, they were able to line up and everything. So whatever. It actually was the same thing. He was down, except Max Johnson was even more clearly down with possession.
See, so Tyler Lambert, by the way, said talking about replay, the ball didn't hit the Auburn guy. I don't know how you can overturn that. I completely disagree with you. I don't know how you don't see that. Like, did you see the play in the Auburn game?
Which one are we talking about?
Auburn's playing South Carolina.
No, I didn't see it.
South Carolina punts. There's 2 minutes left in the game. They're punting to Auburn. There's an Auburn guy who's not paying attention. The ball bounces, and it grazes his pant leg. South Carolina recovers. Well, they rule that it did not touch him, and so it's Auburn ball. Well, they review it, and they overturn it. Like, the tip of the ball very clearly nicks the guy's pant, like the stripe on the Auburn guy's pant leg. Absolutely. But the broadcast, it was RG3 and Mark Jones, and they were so initially, because the South Carolina guys like, we got it. They're like, oh man, this. They said something like, take this to the flea market. With that trashy acting job, whatever. I'm like,
what?
Well, it was weird, but
RG3's fresh in the game.
They dug so deep in their stance that they're like, oh look, it's a depth perception thing. I'm like, no. Like, the ball rotates and it hits his pant leg. Like, you can see the tip of the football nick his pant leg, and then the tip falls. Like, it hit him. It absolutely hit him.
That sounds like one of those things where somebody has an initial bad reaction, and then they don't want to admit that they're wrong.
That was it.
They double down on it.
They were so committed to that feeling, they could not. They couldn't reverse course. Like, they were so committed to it, they couldn't turn it around at that point. But that was a good call. And anyway, so South Carolina got the ball and ran out the clock, ended the game.
Other things in here, Neil Farrell started really hot. He was
Yep.
blowing the offensive line up, was great on the goal line. Jay Ward with the pick six, couple great goal line stands. Jacoby and Guillory just fucking punched a dude. Just punched Rich Rod's son in front of him, which was, I guess, kind of funny. Special teams. It was a bad night for special teams. The first extra point looked sketchy as hell. K. York made it, but it was a sign of things to come as he missed the next one. Now, he did knock that 50-yarder in super fucking easily.
Yeah.
And it would have been good from 60. And that's why he'll make the NFL. It's because he's incredible at 50-plus. And, okay, wait.
LSU also a lot of 4th and 11 conversion on that 33-yard bomb. Like, you know what I mean? Land by the goal line. It was like run around, just threw it up.
Dude,
yeah, right.
Knock it down.
That was 4th and 11.
Jay went for the pick. Just knock it down, and you're good. It's better than a pick at that point. And, again, these special teams, the fake punt was not great. I do kind of like it. To me, you know what it felt like, Max? You're like, why the fuck are you going for it? Obviously they want to try to score into half or whatever. They're trying to extend the drive. That also, though, felt to me like you have that in. Who knows if you're really going to get a chance to call it or if you even want to call it next week or something. And it's like, it's Avery Atkins. He's 18. He's a leader, a senior. Like, fuck it. Let's let Avery throw the ball. And Jontre Kirkland slipped. It was a good throw. It had a real chance of working if Jontre Kirkland did just fucking fall down.
I would rather.
I'm not defending the quality of the call. I'm just saying I'm like whatever. I get why they do it. It's fun to have like one of your team leaders. It's like how Georgia gave Jordan Davis a rushing touchdown today.
I would have but I would have rathered you keep that in your pocket for next week against A&M when you may actually need it. Not when you're up 17-0 to a Sunbelt school.
No, but you put it on film, so now you do a little fake it, dig.
Because they're so good at building off of the things that they put on film.
Now you fake the fake, and you punt it. Avery Atkins takes it, and he pumps, and then he punts. How about that?
Oh, my God.
How about that shit? That's that 4D chess shit right there. Which is a concept makes no sense, by the way. 4D chess. It doesn't make any sense. Chess is complicated enough without talking about 4D chess.
I don't know what that is.
It's from Star Trek.
Okay. Any more comments? Any more super chats?
No more super chats. Trey Williams says Georgia's 11-0, though. Talking about my Jordan Davis comment. Yeah, that's yeah. Georgia is 11-0, so they have a little more wiggle room to mess with that. We haven't talked about this.
The screen looks like the outfield wall in Alec Box because he got the logos on there.
How about Rich Rod after they missed a second 4th down conversion where he called an excellent call 2 times in a row, called great calls on 4th down. Execution fucked it up, and him doing just like the fuck. He's like punching the air. And then he threw his headset, and he's like a notorious like.
That needs to be gift.
He's like, it's already.
He's an angry guy.
Yeah, no, he's already. Yeah, he's a notoriously angry guy, right? And that was like an ultimate angry guy mode. Look, big win for ULM on the night, and Terry Bowden and everybody, I would say.
Why?
Going into Death Valley and playing them tough. It's been a good season 1 in ULM, has it not?
Yeah.
From an expectation
Terry Bowden
standpoint.
is a really good program builder, man. I mean, from South Alabama to Akron and now at ULM, I mean, that's his speed, dude, taking over those smaller school jobs and finding a way to build up the roster, coach them up, and win some games. You realize, dude, they beat Liberty as a 30-point underdog this year.
Yeah. Didn't they win? I think they won 2 games as 30-point underdogs.
They beat South Alabama, I think, is a 17-point underdog. I mean, they had a couple of games where they were large underdogs where they've won this year. It was South Alabama, I think, was the other one. But they he's going to do well there, man. I think the bummer is for them is they hit a 3-game losing streak in conference. Lost Arkansas State last week, and that kind of cost them a chance at a bowl game. Is that skid?
Big Bro Mike says T-Bob wears 4D bras. I wish. If I had quad Ds, I'd be very in love with myself. Who's going to win the Egg Bowl next week?
Ole Miss. Sorry, Rivers.
You don't think Mike Leach can get it done?
I think he can. I don't think he will.
Will Rogers broke all of Dak Prescott's records today?
Well, look at they're going to completely rewrite the record book because of the offense.
It's like how Bryce Young broke all the Alabama records today for a single game.
They had never had a quarterback throw for 500 yards in the game.
Which, as we're talking about LSU or Alabama, Arkansas's fake field goal was pretty tight too. The jump pass that almost didn't work, but it did for the touchdown. You know what I'm getting pissed off about is that this is an Alabama team that obviously has weaknesses, but I'm gonna be so fucking salty if they manage to pull one out of their ass at the SEC championship, dude. Because you know Kirby's still got a little bit like. Everybody's afraid of their dad, right? Even when you are physically superior to your dad and you can beat the shit out of your dad, he has that dad strength advantage over you. I can't help but think that's in the back of Kirby's mind. And I love the Kirby halftime speech. It went viral. It's fucking awesome, dude.
I think Georgia's defense will throttle Alabama.
All logic says that they should.
And my one question would be about Stetson Bennett leading the Georgia offense. I don't know if Stetson Bennett.
Good night, sweet prince.
I don't know if Stetson Bennett can do it in the biggest game. It's where if they had JT Daniels playing, it would be a no-brainer.
Well, isn't that weird though? Because he's better than JT Daniels.
I don't think he is. I think he has severe limitations that will. Look, we saw it last year. I mean, they were cruising with him.
Yeah, but how do we know JT Daniels?
There's the touchdown.
Yeah, it's a good fake. But then why is JT Daniels playing?
Great question.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I did like how Stetson Bennett. I saw him like 2 games ago where he was doing a post-game interview, and they tried hitting him again with like the, what kind of dream come true is it for you to be like playing quarterback? And you could tell he's trying to be a dick, but he was like, yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you got to grow up and be like, I'm not just happy to be here.
I've been the starter here for 2 years with the number one team in the country. What the fuck? Shut up.
He's like, yeah, exactly. Like at a certain point, like, fuck you. I'm not wide-eyed anymore. Like, I'm a fucking dog. I'm the quarterback of the number one team. Like, I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
But he can prove all that.
We'll
go to Atlanta and get the dub.
Well, tell me to wrap up.
Give him the rap sign, Jake.
Noise the fuck
I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of sicko energy, but I'm pretty fucking tired, dude. I'm ready to be done, dude.
Me too.
These last 15 minutes, I've been feeling it. I've been reaching into the bag.
Thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button. Facebook, like and share. We appreciate it. Shout out to Don Juan Cigar Bar. Come by the Cigar Bar tomorrow. Watch some NFL games. Don Juan Cigar Company, the retail shop right next door. Buy your stogies there. And, of course, as well, thanks to the Aesthetic Medicine Agent Clinics, Louisiana.
And Vacherie Fuel, 20% more in every tank. VacherieFuel.com.
Y'all have an awesome night. Thanks for watching.
Love y'all.